What's up? So, this has been something I've been meaning to do for a minute. These here are Twosun Ts27s. This one's in G10, D2. This is the titanium version, and it is also in D2. And so I recently picked up this titanium version, and because I like this one so much that I really wanted to find this titanium version and put one in the collection. So I found this one. It's got this anodizing on it. And so you already know from seeing the title of the video is I've been meaning to try to take anodizing off of a knife. And so this is the first attempt. We're going to try to take the anodizing off of that knife. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this apart, get these scales free, and then we're going to do some editing on this video, because I'm going to take it to the sink and we'll reset up the camera and see how well, if at all, this wink removes this anodizing. Is it going to work? I don't know. I've been told it works. The action on this knife needs to be worked over as well. And I believe when I got this knife, I just said, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything to this knife, because I knew that I was going to try to do something with this anodizing. Or maybe I have checked this knife in. I don't know. I'm confused, man. But I do want to get all the little pieces and parts off of this. Let me get a rag. I'm going to give this a tappy tap. See if I can't get that pivot to come out of there. Got my trusty little bench hammer. Yeah. Ooh, is that locked in there? But it's got to come out. It can't stay. It's not, staying is not an option. But yeah, it is frozen in there. And that could be to the anodizing as well, is because, you know, the anodizing could cause, you know, if it wasn't cleaned out of that hole, when you tighten that down, it sucked it up in there, and now it's frozen in there. Same with this stop pin here, and same with this stop pin. But we're going to work on all these, see if we can't get them out of here. But I kind of want the video to be about the anodizing, so I think I'm going to do a break here. Let me get this disassembled. Okay, so I just thought I'd jump in. I've got this scale completely disassembled. So, yeah, there's one. One down, one to go. Okay, so there's the other one. And this just fit really tight in there, and I'm positive that's what it was, is whatever this coating is, it's in that hole. And so this is just really, really tight in that hole. But you know, we may deal with that a little bit. You know, I don't want to get overly aggressive, because you can create wobble in there. So we'll see what happens with the process. But right now, we're going to pack up and go to the sink. And let's see what we can get done with this. Kind of excited. Okay, so here's our supplies. We've got the Wink Rust Stain Remover. I've got this really dense foam sponge. And there's a reason why I want to try this, is because I've got some knives that with the scale, it's got milling in the scale. And so I want to see if with this stiff sponge, if I can run it across here and only affect the top of a surface. And then of course I've got a cup of water here so that, you know, once I put that wink on there, we'll let it, you know, do whatever it's going to do to this, and then we can rinse it in the water. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing. Let me see, can I make this wider? No. And yes, I could make it wider. Had to have a little split there, but we've got a little wider view now. So yeah, we're going to put some on the sponge, and then we're going to put it on the scale. We're going to see what it does, and then we can rinse it in the water that's in here. So let's get to it. Does this need to be shaken? Let's see. Doesn't say anything about shaking it. I mean, I guess I'll shake it just a little bit. But it says to just wipe it on or spray it onto the thing that's about to be affected, and then wait. So here we go. I'm going to spray it on here. And even though it's foam, it's soaking right into this sponge. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the very tip of this scale first. Like so. I mean, my fear is with this one is that that's not ano. It feels like it's some kind of paint. Like it's been painted. Yeah, and that stuff's not doing anything to that part of that scale. Let's do a bigger part. Like it's not even penetrating. I don't think this knife has been anode. I think it's paint. Yep. Now, I do think that, because see, there's a surface texture difference between the center and the outer on this. So I'm going to go ahead and do the anode part, because I do think that that was anode. I think this test is going to be a bust. Doesn't appear to be impacting this at all. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Now there's some different color ano up here that I believe to be ano, so let me rub it on there. I mean, I don't know if the sponge would work for what I was wanting to do, but I'm not sure that this test is going to tell me anything, because I don't see it doing nothing. So I'm going to try to spray it directly onto the piece on both scales. And let's see what's up. Let's see if it does anything. Okay. I mean, I think I smell fumes. I don't know. But yeah, it's not impacting that ano. or that surface whatsoever. Nada. Yeah, it's not doing anything to whatever that coating is. Nada, nada. So, let me think. I mean, not this knife withstanding. I mean, because I would like to redo the scales on this knife. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if I need to take them to my buffer and buff those off, buff that surface off. Because there's definitely a surface difference from the skull portion here that looks to be anode, and then the other portion where the tape has been pulled off. Because I believe that was a sticker, and then they put this coating or whatever this is on there, and then they removed the sticker. So I don't know what this coating is. I have no idea. But I know that wink didn't touch it. So now the question is, will the wink affect anodizing? Because I do believe that the skull portion of this is anodized, and it didn't seem to impact it at all. Didn't seem to do anything to it. So I'm not sure if I should try another knife or what I should do. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm a little stumped. Okay, well, the pocket clip from that knife is 100% anode. No doubt about it. Like there's some openness about, is in fact this anodized? I don't know. I think it is, but it's not clear. But this definitely is. So, you know what? I'm going to spray it and see what happens to it. Will it remove the anode from it or not? Now, there's a couple of caveats here. I did get this spray foam versus just the standard. And so maybe this stuff works differently. So maybe that's what I'm dealing with. I don't know. But I sprayed this piece, and we'll see what it does. Let's see what it says about wait time. 40 to 60 seconds, and then rinse it. So, okay. I mean, I don't know. We'll be right back. We'll let the 60 seconds go and then we'll check it. Okay, so as you can see, the anodizing is still very clearly on this piece. You can see the blues and the lightning pattern there. And then, of course, the golds, and then there is some blues coming through. So, I mean, I sprayed it on there and let it sit. So, I mean, the only thing left is this kind of wink gonna do what's supposed to do? So, I may have to try the other wink, but I can tell you right now that it didn't work on this anodizing it at all. So, I'm gonna call that a bust. Didn't work. Now, hopefully in the comments somebody can pop in and go, yeah, I've tried that. This don't work, but the other stuff definitely works. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know that it didn't work on these scales and this pocket clip or backspacer at all. All right, I appreciate y'all watching. Okay, well, I'm stupid like that, but look here. I'm gonna go this route. I've got some 120 grit sandpaper here, and let's see what it does to this surface. I ain't scared. Y'all scared? It's just, I don't know what this coating is. It's creating a pretty interesting antique-ish looking finish, I can tell you that. It's certainly not my intention. My intention is to strip it. Interesting. I don't know what that coating is, but it's tough. I mean, and then underneath, it appears to be revealing a primer surface, I believe. I'm not sure. Interesting. Well, and what I haven't told you is over here to my side, I have several different sandpaper grits. And so I'm going to be able to transition to finer and finer and finer grit. And of course, right here on that lock, that lock bar. Might just bend that out a little bit for now. We'll come back to it when I reassemble, but right now I need to get at it. I mean, you know, the thing is if this thing turns out really cool, the difficult part is I don't know what that coating is, so I could never duplicate it, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a one-off, man. All right, well, so you can kind of see what's happening to this scale. And so I'm going to wrap up with this piece, and then I'm going to go to the next piece, and I'll pop back in. Okay, so I'm down to 600 grit. And I mean, it looks really rough, but I think I like it better than the gold. We'll keep going. What do you think? I mean, and it's super smooth. I mean, everything's knocked down wonderfully now. So I've got one more grit. It's 2000. So that's through 1500. I've got a 2000 grit here, and I'm going to run it on it, and I'll be back. Okay. What do you think? I mean, I gotta admit, I kind of like it. I I don't know that I would have liked just the plain titanium near as much as I like what's going on with this. Wow. All right, so I now have to make this match this. So that's what I'm going to do. What's up? I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like, man, I could really work and refine all that and do it perfect. But I think the beauty in this thing is the imperfection. Here's the other side. And I'll do better camera angles, so hang tough in the video. I mean, I'll get it on the bench, and then we'll really be able to look at it. But I mean, I don't know that I'm not crazy happy with it. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Well, we're back to the workbench, and here's this one. This is in the G10 D2. That's like the entry level. And here's the big reveal. Man, did I work on this thing. All right, here it comes. Okay, so I sanded, and I can tell you that the finish on these scales is just as smooth as, I mean, let's look at the other side. Look, pocket clip too. I did it. And I did the backspacer, but I left the color in between. I just did the top, and there's just a tiny little bit of color on the back. I left it. Yeah, man. How about this thing? I mean, make sure you leave me a comment down below, but I tuned the knife as well. And so it is, I mean, it's stunning all the way around now. And so comfortable in the hand, man. By sanding it, everything's knocked down in just the coolest way. I mean, this thing feels so good. And I mean, I don't think I really intended to keep this in here, but and clearly I could have continued to sand down and then blend all this titanium in without, take the rest of this black finish off, which is that primer or what is that, man? I don't know. But you can't feel the transition now. There's no transition noticed on the knife. Drop shut. I'm not sure if I can fail it. I'm going to try. Yeah, I can fail it. There's probably some work that I could do here in the lock bar. It looks like I've got about 30% lock up there that I could potentially lighten that up a little bit. I'm trying to think of what this one feels like. This one's got a little more detent to it than this one actually. I mean, could I add some to it? Probably. Yeah. But it runs really well. Super comfortable, wonderful in hand. And I mean, I like the way it turned out. It's kind of interesting, and how I did it all was with this right here. All these little pieces of sandpaper. So I have a sandpaper pack that goes from like 120 to 400 to 600, 1,000, 1,500, and then 2,000 grit. And I've got big sheets of it here, like big, large sheets of it. And so I just tear a little piece off, and then I can, just function with a little piece. And honestly, all these pieces here are going to go back in the bag because the life isn't gone out of these. I can do a lot more work with that. And so, I mean, I was kind of hoping to strip all that off of there, but it wasn't. It's paint or something, or powder coat, man. Maybe it's powder coat. Maybe it was powder coating. Does powder coating have a primer under it? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, what an oddity. And now, I mean, just this side, the antique look at that. I mean, I really, really like it now. It's just, I mean, certainly a one-off. And I mean, I intentionally started to bring this out in certain areas and kind of faux antique it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's all titanium, man, and it's so smooth and comfortable in the hand. Yeah, so there you go. Hey, I appreciate you watching. And it's going to encourage me to maybe go after a couple others, like maybe this TS220. So, I mean, this has got a bunch of factory anodizing on it. But it is so slick, man. Golly, this thing is slick. And I mean, is this smooth? It is, but I don't know. I'm tempted to do this one, but leave the anodizing down in these grooves. You know what I mean? And then maybe leave the backspacer alone and the pocket clip, but just do the surface of the scales. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a couple others that have some millwork that I'm thinking about, maybe I can rough up the surface and leave the anodizing down inside, but then, I mean, it'd be great if I could tape that off and really tape it well with good tape, and then tumble this in some ceramic. Maybe that's really the finish that I want to go after, is a nice rough bead tumbled finish, bead blasted. I don't know, but it's opening up some ideas to doing that. And I'll be honest, man, I do like the way this turned out. I mean, it makes the knife look 200 years old, but still holding up very well. And this thing, I mean, this thing is that kind of sharp. I mean, it's crazy sharp. What a cool knife. I wonder if the G10 version is. I don't know. I don't remember, but let's find out. No, it's just as stupid sharp. Big, tall, ground, heavy-duty blade. What a cool knife. Anyways, TS27, and I think these are available, like definitely in the G10. I don't know about these titanium versions because honestly, that's why I bought this one, because I couldn't find just a raw titanium version. And honestly, I feel kind of lucky that I didn't now, because this thing's actually pretty cool the way it sits. So, hey, I appreciate y'all watching.